Are you new to silver stacking? Well, if you are, you're in the right place. I plan in this video to describe my journey, and my hope is that it'll help you in some way. T. Hello, silver fans. This is T, and you're in the place to be for silver education, acquisition, and entertainment. And today I have a good video planned for you. Whether you're a seasoned stacker or a newbie, I'm hoping that you'll enjoy this video. You'll get some knowledge from it, and at the very least, you'll see some silver eye candy. If you are one of my regular viewers, hey, glad to have you here. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Like many of you watching this video today, I started out my silver stacking journey as a coin collector, and I'm guessing quite a few of you did as well. Many of us, when we're younger, we have a fascination with collecting coins. I know for me, my mother was a cashier at a grocery store and a gas station, and she would constantly bring home old mercury dimes or interesting coins that she found, and she would give them to me. She'd trade out the dime she found for a couple of nickels in her pocket for that mercury dime and bring that mercury dime home to me, and I started my collection. And throughout my life, I would pick up odds and ends here and there. I always liked going into coin shops, but it got pretty serious, and it evolved from just a hobby of me going to coin shows and so forth to getting real serious about silver stacking, wealth preservation by saving precious metals. So today I am going to show you what my stack is built on and what I got and why I got them. So like I said, perhaps this can help you in your journey. Now, when I got serious about silver stacking, one of the very first coins I targeted was American Silver Eagles. And hey, what's not to like about the American Silver Eagle? Here's a 1991, and as you can see, it's got a little bit of milk spotting on it. It's not that much of a beauty, but hey, it is a troy ounce of silver for my stack. And so being someone with a collector's background, I made it a goal of mine to collect an American Silver Eagle from each year. They started in 1986 till the present, and many of you know that they are switching over designs. This eagle right here, the 2021 Type 1, has ceased production, and we're anxiously awaiting the release of the 2021 Type 2 that will have a different eagle design on the reverse. Now, why ASEs? Why American Silver Eagles? Well, for starters, they're government issued, and they're recognizable. Anybody in the country and then probably anybody in the world would recognize these American Silver Eagles. And furthermore, I'm American. I live in the USA, and what's not to like about coins from your own home country? They are very plentiful. They're a beautiful coin. So I started collecting these American Silver Eagles. And I did. I accomplished my goal of collecting at least one from every year, 86 to the present. And in many cases, I have duplicates. But that's where I got really serious about stacking with the ASE. Now, my attitude about ASEs has changed a bit over the years, and I'll describe what I'm talking about a little bit closer to the end. Now, once I finished collecting all of those American Silver Eagles that I described, I started collecting Mexican Silver Libertads. And these coins right here have become wildly popular. This is Type 1, by the way. They have become wildly popular over, I would say, the last year and a half or so. But at the time I started collecting them or stacking them, they were pretty similar in price to the American Silver Eagle. They were, at the time, probably about $2.50 over spot. So if at the time the spot price was say $20, I was picking these up for about 22, 23 bucks. And that has changed considerably over the last year and a half. These things have skyrocketed in price, not only at the rate of the American Silver Eagle, but even above and beyond the rate of the American Silver Eagle, because many collectors have discovered them as wonderful coins for collecting of great numismatic value. So with these Libertads, I had the same goal as I did with the ASCs, to collect from the year of inception, so for, in this case, 1982 to the present. And as I started filling in the back dates, it became harder and harder and harder. And I'm still not done. I still need a few years to complete this collection because those premiums have gone up so high. Now, if you're new, I'll try to throw in some little nuggets of education throughout the video. The premium is the price that you pay on top of the value of the silver. So if spot price is, say for example, $26 and an American Silver Eagle cost $36.50, well, you would say the premium is $10.50. That's above and beyond the spot price. It used to be considerably lower, and now it has really gone up. Now, I've also dabbled a little bit in silver maples and other sovereign coins along the way, but another area that I really built the weight up in my stack, the most ounces, was this stuff right here. This is constitutional silver, also known as junk silver. And take a look here, and this is this. I even saved this. You might even be, yeah, you can see that. I bought this at a 12.38 times face value in early 2020. Well, it's up considerably higher than that now, well over 20 times face. And I showed you, well, there's some mercury dime here, and there's some quarters, and here are some half dollars. But my favorite is the mercury dime. I love my mercury dimes. And that's because they are so fractional. That's the smallest denomination, the dimes at least, and this happens to be my favorite dime, the smallest denomination of junk silver. Now, at the same time, all of those American Silver Eagles and Mexican Silver Libertads started going up and up and up in price. I thought, well, I want to find what I can find at the cheapest level possible, at the cheapest rate possible. So I started moving into generic silver rounds. And in my search for generic silver rounds, I found that many of them have some really cool designs. And here's one. Beautiful soaring eagle there. And one of my favorite presidents. And God Bless America. And you name it. They have a wide variety of designs. And of course, they are far closer to, oh, here's one of my absolute favorites, honest value, never fails. They are far closer to spot price, which means they are less expensive than these sovereign coins here. And so my stack started filling with generic silver rounds. So if you're not familiar with silver rounds, I would certainly encourage you to consider generic silver rounds to add to your stack. And again, the variety is, this one's, look at that screaming eagle there. I would certainly encourage you, to check them out. A lot of them have some really interesting and fun designs, including this right to bear arms. And a lot of them have a good story. So again, I moved towards generic silver rounds, and then the evolution continued. in my quest to find silver, and I started looking into bars. And as I was stacking bars, I was keeping a keen eye out for bars that were particularly interesting to me. And by the way, these old Engelhard bars, they are quite interesting and quite recognizable. And one of the best brands out there that I know of that people purchase. And here's another solid Johnson Matthey, the old JM bars. Here's another Engelhard. And at first I was, a little hesitant to get into bars. And once I did, I realized, I started picking up stuff like this from 1973, the old Watergate bar. And some of these, I would say probably the majority of these, I was able to pick up at like generic prices. So this one's got some great tone. This is old Engelhard here. It's got some great tone to it. Might be able to see it in the camera. It's got a greenish tint to it. And this one was one that I had never seen before, and I found the gentleman I bought this from gave it to me at generic silver prices. So anyway, silver, rounds, and bars started trickling into my stack as the premiums on this other stuff just got way out of whack. So many of you are newbies to silver stacking. I would encourage you to learn as much as you can from YouTube and from folks that you trust. I happen to be a member of a local coin club, and it's filled with older gentlemen, and they are definitely a wealth of knowledge. And when I go to club meetings, I get a lot of my questions answered. I would also encourage you to talk to trusted friends and relatives who are stackers, and scan the social media. YouTube is awesome, and obviously you're here watching a YouTube video, but you could also find great information on Facebook. There are Facebook channels out there that deal with strictly stacking, and you can learn a lot just by seeing posts and reading people's comments. There's some very good, helpful people out there. Even Reddit has some opportunities to learn about stacking. I would also encourage you, especially when it comes to YouTube, and that's my genre, is to find channels that suit your personality and your goals. Some folks out there are prepper stackers. Others are flipper stackers, where they like to find stuff and make a quick buck on it and then move on to the next item. And some people are like me. I call myself a stack-elector. I stack with an eye towards collecting. I normally don't buy any old junky silver round that I see. I'll look through the guys at the LCS's box and look and find the old 1981 vintage round that I like. I do the same for bars. Now, when it comes to YouTube, there is a plethora of channels out there, and I would invite you to shop around and find the ones that kind of fit your personality and subscribe to the philosophy that you think makes the most sense. The one thing I would be a little bit leery about is that there are some know-it-alls on there. And, whenever anybody tells me that they can predict the future and tell you what spot price is going to be in, a month or two from now with very great certainty, I would be very leery of those people. Take everything with a grain of salt, but there are great opportunities on YouTube to learn. Now, another big tip I'd like to give you new stackers out there is be ready to adjust your strategy. I just described how my strategy changed over time. I started out with these American Silver Eagles and then the Libertads, and then evolved into what I could find that was closest to spot price. And rather than just blindly continuing to stack ASE after ASE after ASE and pay $8 or $10 or $12 premiums as they've been over the last year or so, I put that to the side and I shifted gears and I went to a little bit of a different strategy. I would encourage you to do the same, be nimble. And it's kind of like a strategy in sports. Say, for example, I happen to be a football fan, a big Chicago Bears fan, and take what the defense is giving you. So if you're running an offense, you scan the defense and try to pick your spots and make the most of what you have on your team. Same thing with silver stacking. Just be ready to adjust based on the market. We're all at the mercy of the market, and you could either figure that out and work according to the market or work against the market. I think a good knowledge of what the market is doing will help you in the long run. Another thing to consider is diversifying with some gold. I happen to prefer fractional gold for two reasons. Number one, that's what I can afford. I'm not one of those people in a position to go out and buy an ounce of gold whenever I feel like it. So I pick my spots and I buy gold to diversify my stack. So that would be something else for you to consider. And so I buy fractional gold coins. Once in a while, I'll buy a piece of jewelry, and I happen to get this one at a very, very good rate. But when it comes to diversification, I don't want you to have the idea that T the Silver Stacker is telling you silver, 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 gold, gold, gold. That's what you should base your retirement on. I think this silver right here in front of you and this little piece of gold and the other stuff that I have is a good part of my long-term financial goals, especially as they pertain to retirement. I would not encourage anybody watching this video to cash out their 401k and just go all in on silver or gold. I think diversification makes a lot of sense to me personally, and I would encourage you to consider silver as a part of your long-term plan. All that being said, I am not a financial advisor, so take even me, even T the Silver Stacker, take everything I say with a grain of salt as well, and just take it into consideration and see what works for you. Now, when should you buy? Really, that's up to you, your budget and your philosophy. And I buy slowly and consistently. For me, the silver trickles into my stack. All this stuff, I can't say that I made thousands of dollars worth of purchases at any one time. This stuff has just kind of accumulated, and this is just a fraction of my stack that I just wanted to show you for purposes of showing you examples. But the silver and the gold that I have has trickled into my stack. As a matter of fact, I even made a video about it describing in detail my silver trickle philosophy. So that works for me. I happen to love going to the local coin shop and looking around and seeing what I can add to my stack. And I buy what I can and when I can. Now, speaking of going to the local coin shop, I have an entire playlist made up of interviews with my LCS owner. LCS, local coin shop owner, and others. They happen to be my most popular and educational videos I've made. So at the end of this video, you'll see a link that leads you to that if that is something you want to check out. You'll get the information straight from the horse's mouth. I happen to have an LCS owner who is painfully honest. He will tell you like it is. And a lot of people have thought very highly of those interviews that I've done with him. Now, another piece of advice that I could give to all stackers is don't buy if you're broke. Don't put yourself in a tough financial spot because you got paid on Friday and you decided to go to the LCS and you blew your budget there and you're scraping by until the next paycheck. Hey, don't be that guy. Be careful about sticking to a consistent budget that makes sense for you and your entire family. Hey, life happens sometimes. I'll tell you. I'll be the first to tell you. I even made a video about it. Confession of a broke stacker. About a time I went through a little tough stretch when like 3 different things came together all at once, and I had to hit the brakes on my stacking for a period of time until it made more sense financially for me and my family. Another big advice I'd like to give to you newbies watching is buyer beware. If it looks like a deal is too good, there's a good chance it's a scam, especially on eBay or else on the Facebook sellers as well. So be careful, guys, and don't get ripped off. Now, in conclusion, the bottom line for me is stack what you like. And those are words to live by that I would encourage you to consider. And hey, if you've made it all the way to this part of the video and you haven't done so yet, please do me a favor and hit that like button down below. It helps with the YouTube algorithms and it helps me spread the word to other stackers out there or other newbies out there. And if you like what you heard today in this video and you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. I've made over 100 videos and I sure do encourage you to look through the list and find other videos that strike your fancy like these on the screen right now. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody.